Welcome back to the Links Golf Podcast. I'm Al Lunsford, digital editor for Links, joined by Joe Passoff. Mike O'Reilly, general manager for Whistling Straits and Blackwolf Run, joins us today. We are very excited. For anyone who doesn't know, we are heading to Kohler, Wisconsin, October 12th through 16th of this year. We've got a tournament package that includes 4 nights at the American Club, 3 rounds. We're going to play the River Course, the Straits, and the Irish, and we've got a welcome and closing dinner as well. So, all right, given that we're playing the venue, Whistling Straits, and the Irish there, and the River Course, Mike, what are attendees to this event in for from a golf perspective?
Mhm. Quite a bit. It's a great lineup that you have set up here. We're most well known for the Straits course at Whistling Straits, but the other golf courses at the resort are fantastic. The River Course is one of the original courses in Kohler. It's a stunning golf course, a little bit more traditional Wisconsin Midwest golf, as opposed to the Straits and the Irish course, a little more link style. But they're all great. The lineup for the event is fantastic.
This will be my first time. Joe's been there once or maybe more, has at least been there
More than
before.
yes, more than once.
Yep.
What can you speak to about there's 4 courses there, obviously big courses. Now we've got a 10-hole short course as well, but the
Yep.
variety that is presented there at Kohler, going from uh, the Sea of Wisconsin, as they call it, and the courses
Sure.
on Lake Michigan to the more inland style courses.
Yeah, I think that's a key point and a great thing of our resort is the variety. Like I mentioned, the link style golf out at Whistling Straits on the Straits and Irish courses, but a little more traditional Wisconsin parkland golf at Blackwolf Run, and as you mentioned, a 10-hole par three course that we added a few years ago. The river course is named appropriately. It is built along the Sheboygan River, and Pete Dye did an amazing job of utilizing what was there to build an amazing golf course. So the views are unbelievable. There's a lot of ups and downs, and the river comes into play on several holes. Meadow Valley, which is also at Blackwolf Run, a little more friendly, I'd say, a little more open on the front nine, but then a really stunning back nine that brings the river into play again. So, there's it's a great variety of golf.
Oh, Joe, I thought you
Mike,
were going to. Yeah.
we did a podcast. Al, was it 2 weeks ago? On I think it was our favorite underrated golf courses. The
Mm,
ones that just should get more notoriety, but sometimes they're just next to a golf course that overshadows them. One of my 3 picks that week was the Irish at
yes.
Whistling Straits. So I think just about everybody familiar with this concept knows and loves the Straits course. What an incredible Ryder Cup that everybody watched a couple of years ago. Remarkable American win. But how does the Irish course next door compare to it in both comparing and contrasting?
Yeah, I think thanks for recognizing the Irish as one of the best little brothers, if you will, because it is really, really good. It's a link style golf course. It's on the same property at Whistling Straits. The first holes go kind of right next to each other, but then the Irish course takes a right turn and basically stays inland. So you get some views of the lake on the Irish course, but you don't play along the lake. It is a link style golf course, a lot of bunkers, dunes. The back nine is a really great nine, one of the best nines at the resort. I think it's got some great variety. It's got a medium to long par three, and it's got a short par three with a blind green. Um, so really cool hole there. It's just a really fun golf course. Again, similar look and feel as the Straits, it just doesn't run along the lake as the Straits course does.
So you touched on it, but Al, I'll pop this out there because we just did a new top 100 that came out a couple of months ago, around the time
Mhm.
of the PGA show. But the Lynx 100 was only the architects, the society architects voting on it. and around the world, both the American Society and European and Australian. And the vote came in, and Whistling Straits course was 33rd in the world. The architects of the world love Pete Dye. So refresh everybody. I mean, we've seen it on television so many times, but what makes that golf course such an incredible design and so compelling in the minds of the architects and the people who watch it and then finally get to play it?
Man, I mean that's a great honor amongst a group of individuals that know and love golf course design. Um, I think the Straits course is one of Pete's crown jewels. I'll tell you a funny story. We were doing an interview leading up to one of the PGA championships that we hosted, and they asked Pete what's the most amazing part of the Straits course, and he said the drainage. He was so proud of the drainage that he put in on the golf course. So you can see how an architect, thinks about the golf course. He was somewhat kidding, but he went on to talk about the golf course. The Ryder Cup we hosted, I think, showcased the Straits course amazingly for what it is. It's a playable golf course. It can be creatively set up for an event. So there's some drivable par fours if you'd like, but you can move the tees back and you can, make those holes a little more difficult. It's a demanding golf course. You're going to have to play a few different shots, but it's not incredibly penal. If you miss the fairway, you'll find your ball. It's going to be in a bunker, most likely, but you'll be able to play it out and keep yourself in the hole. But, the overall design of the golf course, he did a really nice job. There's 2 miles of lakefront, so it's obviously a great piece of land to build a golf course on. He did a really nice job bringing the views of the lake and the incredible pieces of the property into the design of the golf course, and the lake obviously has a big impact on that.
Mike, I read somewhere that you started at the resort as a caddy at Blackwolf Run in 1996. What has it been like for you to see the evolution of this place since you began there, almost 30 years ago?
Yeah, it's been a great ride. I think when I started, I was a kid, didn't know a ton about the golf business. Have learned a lot along the way. Um, the place has really grown up over the time that I've been there. Whistling Straits was just a germ of an idea or just being built. Um, and to see what it was a very nice Midwestern resort with 2 golf courses. And now as a global destination for golf, and the state of Wisconsin has grown into one of the best states for golf in the United States. So it's been an amazing ride to see not only Kohler mature and become a great destination, but the entire state of Wisconsin to become a great golf destination. It's been a tremendous joy for me to be a part of the ride.
And I know that run with you and that ride includes, climbing the ladder. Obviously, you're the general manager now, but you've been assistant golf pro, head golf pro, and director of golf along the way. You mentioned interaction with Pete as you were preparing for that Ryder Cup. Do you have other, I'm sure you've had a lot of FaceTime with him over the years when he was still with us and working at the resort. Do you have any funny anecdotes or Pete Dye stories from the years that stick out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I spent some time with Pete. The blue truck, he would show up in a truck with his dog 60, and they would just pop out. I do remember one time in the lobby at Whistling Straits, he was there with his dog, and a guest that was there playing that day walked in and kind of walked past him and did a double take. And he turned around and goes, "Are you Herb Kohler?" And Pete goes, "Nope, I'm Pete Dye. And the guy goes, you're Pete Dye? And he almost lost it. It was amazing. And then they did a picture and talked for a couple of minutes. But that's just how he was. He was down to earth. I've got the opportunity to walk a couple holes with him when he was modifying the eighth hole on the Straits course, and just how he visualized the hole, how he talked about it, his original intent, the change he wanted to make. It was a great, opportunity for me. But just a wholesome man. Showed up in his truck with his dog, walked the golf course, and was a great friend of ours, great friend of Kohler Golf.
Well, speaking of Kohler Golf, I had the pleasure of getting to know Mr. Kohler a couple of occasions, couple of visits, and my wife was with us on the first one, and they wound up discussing their mutual love of Morgan horses.
Mhm.
Herb Kohler built an incredible facility with obviously a great team. I know he's missed. He was a larger than life personality. In
Yep.
what way does his influence still pervade over Kohler and the operations?
Yeah, Joe, it's a good question. There's many things. I guess the first thing that comes to mind is quality. He always, no matter what, whether it was a golf course, whether it was in the plumbing business, a new product coming out, the team members, everything we do has to be a certain level of quality. And it's not worth doing it if we're not going to do that. So that drives us to this day on a daily basis. It drives me, it drives our team. We ask ourselves, how can we get a little better? What do we need to do a little better? And we're doing that all the time. And, he really instilled that as a core competency at Kohler Company. And again, not just at the golf courses, but or at the hotels, but across the entire company. So, there's many things that come to mind, but that's one of the biggest and grandest and things he always asked of us.
Yeah, I saw on the Instagram page for Golf Kohler, someone asked you what do you hope golfers take away from their first round? You said, "Wow, only the Kohler team would do that." I'm sure that's kind of in the same breath as
Yeah.
what you were just talking about. Is there a specific example golf-wise that when you say only the Kohler team would do that, is there something you can point to there?
Yeah, I'd say we've done it for 2 years now. We have a great spa in Kohler, the Kohler Water Spa, great team there. It's a beautiful place, amazing services, and we tried to bring that into the golf course a little bit. So we offer complimentary 10 to 15 minute stretches and massages on the driving range every day. So you walk out on the driving range to hit some balls, and on your right hand side, you're going to see a couple massage therapists that can get you loosened up for the day. I think that would be a good example. There's not many resorts that would do that on a daily basis, and our guests love it, so we continue to do it. I think that's a good example.
As if I wasn't excited enough for this event, that is perfect. I cannot wait to take advantage of that.
You have to reserve your spot. Yes, we got to get you in there. We'll get you in there.
Okay, well, I'll reserve the spot. I can't just show up. Got it. Good deal.
Mike, for the bulk of my visits back in the day and then not too recent past, I was fairly steady, keeping the ball in play and so forth. And I found the river course at Blackwolf Run to actually be more challenging than the Straits course at Whistling Straits. I bet that's a surprise to some, but what can you tell us about the greatness, the genius of the design in the more traditional style golf for Wisconsin at Blackwolf Run?
Yeah, Joe, that's a good point and a common conclusion that people come to. I do think the Straits course is a little bit easier. There's a little more space. It can be a little bit more forgiving. The fairway is a little wider. The river course is a little bit more, not every hole, but a little bit more of a target golf course. I would say you have to hit some certain spots, and if you play it multiple times, you get a little more used to it. But many of the tee shots can be visually intimidating off the tee. I think of the eighth hole as an example. It's a par five. Dogleg to the right, the Sheboygan River is along the right hand side, and the tee box is up on a bluff. So the fairway looks very small from where you're at, but once you get down there, you see, the rest of the fairway exposes itself. So that's what I mean when I say he did a nice job of using the land that was there to build a golf course. He really utilized the Sheboygan River and the valley that surrounds it to make some great shots. And the eighth hole is a good example of one. The 13th hole is a difficult par three. Again, right along the river. And it's one, where you do have to place your ball in the right spot. And the river is along the right-hand side. So if you miss it right, you're going to be in a little bit of trouble. So he really did a nice job of using what was there, using nature to build that golf course, and kind of, placing a golf course on top of it.
That's a pretty strong package, an unbelievable quartet of championship golf courses, where obviously everybody wants to check that box and play the Straits. But no matter which of the four you're aboard, you don't feel like you're getting anything less. They're so beautiful. They're so distinctive. And you say, hey, we're playing Meadow Valleys today, or we're on the Irish today, and you're getting a remarkable round of golf.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, as I mentioned, what Mr. Kohler, one of the things he taught us is, quality in all that we do. All four of the golf courses are amazing. And as I mentioned before, we added a 10-hole par three course. That's really a ton of fun. Takes about an hour and 15 minutes to play. And it's it's been a great addition to the resort. Our guests play it. It's very, very busy in the afternoons, and a great opportunity for a little bit more relaxing, casual round of golf.
Well, I was playing at our TPC course a week ago here in Scottsdale, where I live, and we had a four caddy, but he mentioned that come summertime, he winds up at Whistling Straits. And I remembered the caddy core is as good as you could ask for when you do go play the Straits course. And caddies are available, I believe, on the other ones, but walking is mandatory on the Straits. And what a thrill it is to experience it kind of major championship style.
Yes.
When you're on foot and you've got a knowledgeable, confidant, companion, coach alongside. Tell us about the caddy core and what everybody who signs up for this event in October with Links Magazine will get via the caddy and their Straits experience.
Yeah, we're very proud of our caddy core. Our team, we've been with the organization that we work with from the beginning since 1998. So they're a true partner of ours. And we have many, many caddies. We have about 210 caddies. And they love coming back. The gentleman you were with down at Arizona, I don't know who it was, but he may be coming back and forth for many years because they love being part of the team. They're very knowledgeable. They know the golf course very, very well because, as I mentioned, we don't have to hire a lot every year. We're bringing guys, they're coming back year after year, so they know the golf course very, very well. And we strive for great service across the board, whether it's a caddy or in one of our restaurants. So that's one of the things we really strive for. They need to know the golf course, they need to know the game, but they also need to provide great service to our guests. So it's a great team of caddies, and I would highly recommend taking a caddy when you're up for the event.
And during that October event with Links Magazine, what do you expect out of? Is there a typical wind or winds at that time of year when you do get the Straits? And will guests expect to see a little fall color at that point?
Yes, I mean that's going to be almost probably in full bloom. So the river course, it's probably the best time of the year to play the golf course. It'll be stunning. Out at Whistling Straits, the wind it can vary. If it's a little bit of a warmer day, we're probably getting a nice south or southeast breeze. And if it's a little cooler, we're probably getting a northeast breeze. We do get a decent amount of west wind, not as much in the fall, but we don't very often get a direct east wind, so coming right off the lake. If I were a betting man, I would bet you'd have that southeast wind with a little bit of a warmer day.
Is that comparable to what the guys faced in the Ryder Cup a couple of years ago and then late September?
It is. Yep. Yep. Very much so.
Well, Al, we're talking massage ahead of the round, fall color, the full Kohler treatment. Are you in for some fun? And everybody else that participates in the Lynx event coming up.
That's exciting that it's going to be, in full bloom like that, and to play the river course at its peak is that's a very exciting thing to hear. And you mentioned the caddy program. I mean, what an additive thing that is for a place you've never been, but in general to play a course that has hosted 6 majors between the men, the women, and the seniors, and is a Ryder Cup venue to not only calm someone down who's playing that and understanding the history there, but just to be able to see things they otherwise would not have seen is extremely important. I think when you're playing Whistling Straits or even in general. I've always been a big proponent of caddies. So, last thing for me, Mike, would be obviously you mentioned the water spa. Are there any other things you would say is a must do while you're at the resort, or maybe like for you, a local's favorite activity or item on the menu, something like that? What else is considered a must do for you?
Well, I'll give you two things. And I should have mentioned this when we talked about the fall bloom, but the event will be hosted during the salmon run. So we have a true salmon run. The salmon are coming upstream from Lake Michigan, and there is a dam, a waterfall right behind the second tee box of the river course where they kind of get stopped. So you'll have 2, 3 foot long salmon that are running up to lay their eggs, and then they die. So that will be happening when the group is up in October. So I would say taking a chance while they're playing the river course, or outside of that, taking an opportunity to get a fly fishing lesson from one of our team members at River Wildlife to go and experience the salmon coming upstream. It's a really cool thing. And again, playing the river course, they will certainly see the fish, but taking an opportunity maybe outside of that to see them or try to catch one or two would be cool. Number two, cheese curds at the Horse and Plow.
Hey, now we're talking.
No
Now we're
question.
talking.
No question.
And I'll go with you, Joe. We'll go together. But the cheese curds at the Horse and Plow, it's the pub at the American Club, are a must try. They're very, very good and very, very popular.
Say less. Yeah, I'm there for sure. Joe, anything else from you?
Yeah, the last question I had, because now you got me thinking about cheese and beer soup
Yes.
and some of the best bratwurst on the planet.
Yes.
But with the new Baths course, the par three course that you added, how has that factored in to the typical golf vacation? Are folks using it kind of as a separate entity, or are they adding it on to a round that they've played earlier in the day? What have you seen from the Baths course?
Yeah, a little bit of everything. It is included in our golf packages. So if you were to come here and stay on a golf package, you get complimentary access to the baths really as many times as you'd like.
Wow.
So many of our guests are playing it 1 or 2 times, during their 3, 4, 5 days on site. Um, we use it for some of our junior golf in the morning. So it's been a great, thing for our junior golf program. Um, we've hosted many events up there. So we have a large putting green, 18-hole putting course as well. So it gives us an opportunity to host some events up there, utilize the putting green. Um, So just a lot of different ways, but it's been great. Many guests, not all, but many guests are playing, one of the 18-hole courses in the morning, and then they schedule, a 3 or 4 or 5 o'clock round on the bass. That's a pretty typical thing, and then they go to dinner after that. So, been a great addition for us this year. We've added a food truck, so we'll have a food truck up there for some snacks and a few fire pits, and you grab a spotted cow and a snack and sit around a fire at 8 o'clock on a beautiful
Oh,
Wisconsin summer day. It's pretty good.
Al, you are in for a treat. So is everybody else connected with the event. Sitting around the fire pit with a spotted cow and a little snack. You can have the golf. I'll just stay right there
We'll
with
just go
that.
there. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We can't wait to be there in October. If you want more information about our event, you can visit linksmagazine.com/events and see our page there. But in general, Kohler, Wisconsin, go to their website as well and check out all there is to do at the resort, from golf to the water spa and beyond. Mike, thank you. I know you're on spring break, so you've been very generous with your time today. We really appreciate it, and look forward to seeing you here in a few months.
Very good. Thank you guys. Appreciate the time this morning and look forward to having you.